Hello, welcome everyone. This is Amy the Mystic Rose Tarot, and I'm sorry this color balance, I don't know why it's all yellow. But anyhow, I'm going to go with this because I don't have time to correct this. Happy summer solstice. Welcome to our first decan in the sign of Cancer. So I'm going to go through a little bit about the beginning of the summer solstice and the signs of Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. For the summer solstice, we have the Ace of Cups. Okay, I don't have this particular card with me because I'm here to focus on the Two of Cups. But the Ace of Cups represents, like all aces, it represents new beginnings. It represents the start of something new. It could be something that came out from a previous experience that was just not fulfilling. But some transitions had taken place and it's time to grow and move on from it. So with the Ace of Cups, we're in a wonderful position because, I'm going to move this here, because we are right at the apex of our season. Okay, we've done Imbolc, Austera for spring equinox, Beltane, May Day, May 1st, and now we are summer solstice. So we are halfway into our astrological season with the signs and the energy properties. So far we've gone through fire, representing spring energy, with Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. And now we are moving into the water influence of the summer, with the signs of Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So with the Ace of Cups, just going back a little bit, the Ace of Cups, especially here during this time of the season for summer, we are really feeling this draw of connecting. And the cups represent the emotions and how we follow our intuition. And this is a time too, I feel, with the summer season, that because we are halfway into our astrological wheel of the year, that things are sort of, I mentioned this when I did my reading this weekend, I feel things are sort of at a stable level because we're at the solstice. We already reached the waxing highest point of where the sun is, and now it's going to slowly start waning. But I feel between this time and the fall, the fall equinox, is a time to like really emotionally connect with ourselves and how we interact with people, but at the heart level. So the Ace of Cups is just focusing on that, bringing in that newfound love of who we are, and wanting to experience something new, surrounding ourselves with that kind of experience. So with joy and happiness. So that's where we move with the start of the summer solstice, with the Ace of Cups and welcoming in all that energy of love and reciprocating it, and exchanging those feelings with other people. So with this decan in particular, our first decan in Cancer, with the Unified Esoteric Tarot, the card that I have here, focus, our keyword is devotion. And the influence of this particular decan from June 22nd to July 1st is the Two of Cups with the moon in Cancer. There you go. The moon in Cancer being of influence. The moon represents and guides the sign of Cancer. Moon is the luminary that rules Cancer. So everything is in the realm of the emotions, feelings, intuition. And so with this Decan placement of the Two of Cups and the Moon in Cancer, we're really finding a special, unique connectiveness to how we do self-love, how we see ourselves, how we care for ourselves. This could be physically, but specifically, this is also what's going on inside, intuitively and emotionally. So the devotion here would be the focus more on ourselves, dedicating ourselves to our own emotional well-being. And once we've gone through that experience of self-discovery at an emotional level and intuitively connecting with ourselves and feeling that sense of self-love. And this is also influenced through our spiritual practice. We're trying to find that happy place in ourselves. Sometimes we have it and it sticks around for a little bit until something comes in and then it disrupts it, and then it's that constant going back and forth. And that Moon in Cancer too represents the ebb and flow of Cancer and their feelings, and how some moments they can feel very very reserved and protective and more introverted, and then something comes in that just changes that and shifts that energy around and puts them in a very nurturing, caring position. And it just goes to show the power of that sign of Cancer. Cancer is one of the strong emotional signs, I feel, out of the water planets. What I mean strong emotionally is how they work with those changing shifts, the moon with the tides, how things can go up and down, and they have to work with that. They have to control it. The card that influences Cancer is the Chariot. So as many of you who've worked with the tarot, you see the Chariot as these two opposing energies, usually a black horse, white horse, and the charioteer, different actions. Either they're holding the reins or they're letting it go. We're seeing different representations of that sign. And this is how this energy is being translated. Is this energy moving? Are we seeing control in it? Or is it just staying still? So Moon in Cancer, what works best for them is they have to work in, out, through, above, below with their feelings to really assess what's going on and how those situations react to them. One explanation I saw about the Cancer, the crab, is that because the crab looks like it's walking sideways, but not really straight towards us. There was an analogy that was saying that that's how Cancer tends to work towards things. They tend to do things not directly. They tend to go back, left, right, up, down. They're trying to find their way, but eventually they get to it. They get to where they need to be, and then it works out for them. But going back to the devotional aspect, this is our self-dedication to who we are, and looking for the sources that we need to bring within ourselves to find this. So to jump right into the Two of Cups, I'm going to bring my notes right up here. Okay. I think the one thing that's really important with of working with the water signs, especially the ones that tend to be a little bit more elusive, like Cancer and Pisces, is just to have patience and give them the time that's needed. Patience and understanding is what's needed to work with Cancer in particular. And in doing so, giving them that time and space that they need, they will start seeing with the people that they surround themselves with, that they are there. for the Cancer individual. And there becomes a trust and loyalty for these very sensitive signs, the sign of Cancer. They're the shapeshifters, the emotional shapeshifters, the Cancer. So if we have that understanding of what's going on and how they work with things, give them the time, and that will work very well for them. So let me go really briefly to discuss the Two of Cups. Sorry, I jumped a little bit ahead of myself. The Two of Cups is about a mutual connection, an understanding of the emotions between two opposing energies. Okay. I'm just going to briefly show this, and then I'll give a breakdown of the cards that I'm showing. But in a nutshell, the connection and understanding of these emotions of the two opposing energies can come in many different forms. It could come through a new romance. It could come through a friendship, a new friendship, or a spiritual understanding of our feminine and masculine energies. And through understanding specifically those aspects, because we're all made up of masculine, feminine energies, we get a better understanding of who we are. And in a sense, when it comes to the Two of Cups, the way to connect to that energy is actually giving part of ourselves, liberating a part of ourselves, either the masculine side or the feminine side of who we are, to openly experience something new. Like we're ready for it. But when you're starting a new experience, especially when it comes to a relationship involving the emotions, there is a part of ourselves that we do have to sacrifice and let go of. But by doing this, by letting go of that aspect of ourselves, we learn a little bit from the other person that we're connecting with. And in doing so, by keeping that open-heartedness and keeping the emotions flowing and honest, we learn a little bit about ourselves, and we start building in self-love and respect about ourselves. And in doing that, we start understanding more about the other person. So when there's conflicts that goes on in a relationship, whether it's business, family, or whatnot, the conflict is coming in because one of the parties is not taking a step back. Okay. They're not taking a step back to give some space to really let one aspect of the other person come in and to experience that. So the conflict is the means of not letting go. Once you let go and you step back, you start seeing things. When you take a step back, your perspective opens a little bit more. And that's what we have here with the Two of Cups. And becoming more devoted to and honest and how we feel about ourselves by making that move. So I have, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 cards here. Out of these 5 cards, I have two sets that I will share the meanings together. Excuse me, my allergies. So the first 2 cards I'm going to show is the Dreamkeepers Tarot and Forest of Enchantment. Okay, so again, these are all going to be Two of Cups. There are different wordings with some of the cards I'm holding, but they all hold the same meaning. Here is the Dreamkeepers Tarot, this one here, and then this is the Forest of Enchantment. So what's interesting here is with the Dreamkeepers Tarot, we experience more of the intimate side of a developing union of opposites, feminine and masculine energy. There's a mutual desire to merge their various personalities and characteristics that are inherent. And we see here that one is deep-rooted to nature. You have the masculine energy where there's the solidity and focus on their natural instincts. And the other, we have the feminine side. I'm going to put this card down. We have the feminine side where we're seeing more emotionally open. Both of them are unclothed, showing that they are feeling very honest with each other and open. And here with the feminine energy, it's more of liberation of the self. So when a feminine energy comes into play into a relationship, and especially when it is honest and open, we're giving ourselves, we're showing who we are and how we are. And there's a comfortability that we see in these two realms. The two cups are placed on the ground. They're balanced. And that energy from what was filled in this cup has now manifested into these two souls and the journey that they will be exploring with each other. And also, one thing that's interesting here is the foot here is getting entrapped, if you will, with the energy that's coming in from the natural part of this masculine energy. There's different forms of comfortability here. You see the masculine energy where it's, like I said, it's grounded and it feels very rooted to who they are and where they are with their feelings. And the same here with the feminine energy where everything is open and expressed and honesty. It's all revealing so that both souls understand where they're coming from. Here, with the forest of enchantment, okay, this is signified by the term, sorry, I have to move my notes here, by the two of visions. Two of visions also relates to cups. And so we're seeing the mutual connection between these two individuals. And the way the storyline goes here with the Forest of Enchantment is there's these individuals were both in the forest for different reasons. There was a calling that drew them into the forest. They knew they had to go. They didn't know what they were looking for, and eventually they crossed paths. And when they crossed paths, these two souls meet each other and they find exactly what they were looking for. They meet their soulmate, if you will. And this can be in regards to just kindred spirits. But here specifically with the Forest of Enchantment, we're seeing that destiny had planned for these two to meet, to build a friendship, and to find what was actually missing in their life, in their heart, their void, and their life has been filled because they found enlightenment in each other, a mutual understanding and respect. And we have here too with the roses, red and white. Red deals with love and passion, but in this card, I feel this is love of an honest kind, and very sincere. And then we have the white. The white represents for peace, understanding. And I believe white is also for friendship. I think yellow is as well, the yellow rose. So it's a mutual understanding, the meeting of the hearts in this case, not so much the mind, but the hearts. So this journey between these two cards shows the different directions that love can take us. more emotional intimacy, and here of friendship and just connecting with connecting at the heart. Okay, the next two cards that I have here are from the Witch's Wisdom and Nature Spirit Tarot. Nature Spirit Tarot I'm going to be working with a bit more this summer, as well as the Witch's Wisdom, because these are all nature-centric decks, and they put in a focus on the energies of animals and of flora and fauna of our environment. And with summer being out, all the animals, the birds, four-legged creatures, underground, above, they're all out. And so I feel this energy really merging with me. So I work more with the nature decks around this time of the year. This is the Nature Spirit Tarot. So let me start with this card first. So the Nature Spirit Tarot explores the Two of Cups through the white calla lily. That's what I have here. And its shape here, because if anyone sees the calla lilies, they're hollow for a little bit. And what's really unique about the shape of the calla lily and its representation for the Two of Cups is this holds water. This becomes a reservoir for its life force. And the calla lily is a force and symbolic of purity and emotional strength. So, and we have the entwining. I had showed you the red and white roses. We have the entwining roses here, again showing the same kind of symbology here of love and peace and understanding and compassion for each other. And it's also the unity between masculine and feminine energy. The red would be for masculine energy of desire and loving action, while the white rose is more of purity, innocence, truth, honesty. And the beauty of these roses shows the health, and it's the best way I can explain this, shows the health of the love between these two energy forms. It shows that these two forms have taken care of themselves. They're all healthy. They're not showing any signs of weaknesses. The petals are very well formed. The vines are all healthy. It goes to show that with this energy here of love and honesty, it's well taken care of. It's very healthy. It's very strong. On top here, we have the tree frog. You can see that. And that's symbolic. It also emphasizes honesty within a relationship, the transformation that takes place when a new relationship starts, and how much honesty is being invested into this new union. The mayfly, which we have here, shows the beginning of a new relationship. So all this ties in together. We're seeing the health of love and understanding and truth between two souls. And this can also apply, and I'll say this a few times, this can also apply to yourself. Connecting with the masculine and feminine side of who you are. Which side of those energies are weak, and what do you need to build up upon to create that balance and that harmony? The next card that I have here, Two of Water, and this is from the Witch's Wisdom. And here is a beautiful depiction between two creatures, two otters. And otters are primarily of the element of water. That's where they thrive from. You could see them sometimes sitting on rocks, but to sun themselves off. And then, of course, they they jump back right into the water because that's where their comfort level is. That's where uh, that's where their forces and inspiration comes from, is the playful energy that they get from being in the water and connecting with their own. And that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing the symbiotic relationship between these two otters. The one that's on the rock is more grounded in their emotions, and they're just taking a moment to assess where they are outside of the water. And then the other one, who is in the water, has the nurturing side of the emotions. At that moment here, we're seeing this otter wanting to just take a nice calming moment of serenity and comfort within the water. The otter represents, as you've seen with seals and other sea mammals of that variety, that they tend to be very playful and they have an attitude filled with joy. And this is a reminder of living life and enjoying happiness, which is part of attaining self-love. And in doing so, expressing this out to others. That's why when we see seals and otters and whatnot, they're playful, they're light, they're carefree. They are very supported and nurtured in the realm of water, in the realm of the emotions. So by understanding the forces of water and how it can be of healing and of soothing and of nurturing and calming to us, once we understand that and we tap into that and we bring that into us, we feel that comfort, and that comfort starts transforming into emotional confidence and feeling good about who you are. And then you want to share this with others, people who may be missing those kinds of experiences. So that's with the Two of Water. So overall, I'm going to get to our last card, the Tarot of the Holy Light. What we're seeing here is we're seeing the relationship of these energies, masculine and feminine, light and dark, conscious and subconscious, and integrating all of that. Because the only way we can receive love is we have to have it within ourselves, plain and simple. So for people who are having a hard time in a relationship, or they want to build a relationship, start checking in within yourself. What is missing? What are you not happy about? And what do you need to do to bring that happiness in, that joy? So that when you have it, you can hold on to it, nurture it, care for it, and then express it outward. And if you're thinking, well, how can I do that? You have to start being honest with yourself. That's what all these cards have. Open honesty. There's no fear. It's all welcomed and embraced energy and the connection. Okay, so the next card, as all of you know, here is the Tarot of the Holy Light. Now, this card's different because this is our esoteric perspective of love. Oh, I just lost my notes here. There we go. So with the Two of Cups here, with the Tarot of the Holy Light, very similar theme throughout the other cards that I showed, but this is a mutual understanding that is found in all relationships that we have. Okay, that's the crux of love and harmonizing. We're trying to create balance within and without. And here we see this in the energy of the sun and the moon. Okay, the sun is how we externally express ourselves, and the moon is how we internally express ourselves in creating those balances. And again, this is masculine energy with the sun and feminine energy. That's all within us. Now, this card's influenced by Mars and Cancer, which we have here. There's Cancer and there's Mars. And this influence shows how Mars is all about movement, being really direct, and how the planet of Mars can actually push Cancer into a place where any energy that they have is moved from the place of feeling positive and strong emotionally. And this comes regardless of where your environment is. If things are kind of tumultuous and you have this Mars in Cancer, Mars will give you that push to be there and to be supportive for those who need it, even within yourself. The only issue that comes up, well, there's a few issues, but one of the issues that comes up with this card is its detriment. So detriment being the reverse. So I'm going to turn it like this. And the reverse of this card is the moon in Capricorn. Okay, so we're dealing with a Cancer-influenced card, but we have the moon in Capricorn as its influence. Now that's very hard for Cancer because the moon is ideally, it's not ideally, but it's influenced through the moon's energy. So Cancer needs to go with the changing of the phases of the moon. It has to wax and gain that positive energy, and then there are times where it needs to go down and be more introverted. But with this moon in Capricorn reversed, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So we start seeing the emotions being stuck. There's no place to move. Capricorn is this, Saturn can be disruptive with this Cancer influence. It's restrictive, it's limited, it can't move. And that's the challenge that can come with this card. If emotions aren't moving freely, what has happened? What has caused a block of this energy? What's causing this block for you to move forward, to move ahead? The way that you can see this opposition is maybe it is time to become more disciplined with one's emotions. Because if we express too much of these emotions, we end up being vulnerable. If our emotions are just too overwhelming, too maybe more on the temperamental side, or too loving, too smothering, that could be a scenario where you can be taken advantage of emotionally because you're not being aware. You're not putting control on those feelings. You have to put that awareness on it. And this could limit you when it comes for starting a relationship. You have to know where your emotions are coming from. If they start rising, how are you going to contain it? And so by working through these challenges, okay, I'm focusing more on the reverse energy of this card, but it does happen. But by working through these blocks, okay, you can empower the self and become more solid when it comes with your emotions and building up emotional strength and courage. We can also relate this to Leo and Cancer, since they're signs that are right next to each other. They can support each other. Sun is is of compassion energy, caring. Leo rules the heart. So Leo can understand the energy of Cancer, but Cancer has to be more open and more expressive. And I feel maybe the relationship between the Leo sun energy, and the Cancer moon, it could be an understanding. There could be a reinforcement between those two signs because of that trust that is being given to the Cancer sign. It's like, hey, what's going on? Trust. I'm here for you. I could provide you strength. And while Cancer moon's just like, oh, I don't know. I really don't know about this. So it's creating that balance in between of conscious, what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, and how that gets internalized at an emotional level, and seeing if there is that conflict that you could break through, like with that moon in Capricorn. So Mars in Cancer here, just as its main card of influence, can encourage a positive feeling in a relationship, but you cannot get too overwhelmed and out of control with those feelings. We have to learn that moon in Capricorn how to contain those feelings so that doesn't disrupt what is growing and moving more in a positive direction with the energy of the Two of Cups. We don't want to be disruptive with the masculine and feminine energy. We want these energies to be harmonizing. So yes, with the Two of Cups here, again, we're seeing different perspectives. This is more of the human soul and the connectingness at the heart, romantic, and also with friends. Or starting as friends and then moving on to something maybe a little bit more deeper. And then we have the nature perspective. Very similar. We have new relationships, truth, honesty, sincerity, the forces of masculine and feminine energy, keeping it very healthy, keeping it very strong, using the influence of water coming from here to source and to feed that love continuously. And then here we have the wonderful connection between these two beautiful water mammals. Playful joy, feeling comfort and liberated, primarily in water, but also taking that moment to come out from the water and just assess things from the outside, looking back in. And then with the Two of Cups here, with the Chair of the Holy Light, using the influence with this card, Mars in Cancer, to push this energy of the emotions in a positive realm, and the balancing of the sun energy of Leo and the moon energy of Cancer, to be more open and more expressive, but not to give too much of yourself. We want to create this balance. And that's where we have the two. And then the Unified Esoteric Tarot. Moon in Cancer energy. Being devoted to the self. And finding that self-love within. And I know that sounds silly, but we all have to find aspects of clarity about how we care about ourselves. Because again, everything that involves love of any sort towards any living creature has to come from inside, and how it moves and how it motivates you and how it inspires you. And that's what we need. That's how we grow within ourselves, expressing and experiencing things that really heightens who we are. So that's where we are with this Decan. Lots of inner reflection of finding love. If you're looking for that special connection that you would like to have, start within yourself. Work on that and get it outwards slowly. And then I feel it's always best not to look. Just keep working on yourself. And whatever energy, whatever guide is coming to you will find you. And then you learn from it. And the cycle continues onward. So that's our first Decan with the influence of the moon in Cancer, 2 of Cups, our first Decan for June 22nd to July 1st. We will move from there into the 3 of Cups. So this will take us for the month of Cancer. 2, 3, and 4 of Cups will be discussed throughout the month of Cancer, and then we'll start moving into the sign of Leo, and we'll continue that next Decan right into the later part of the summer, where we wind it up with Virgo. And when we wind that season up with Virgo for the summer season, this will complete my journey with the Unified Esoteric Tarot through all the Decans. So I'll do a recap. That may be a long one. I'll see if I can do it, to explore the different Decan phases of the minor arcana and the signs and the planetary influences throughout the year. It's going to be very interesting. So remember, devotion to yourself, be honest, show no fear when it comes to love, because then that's going to be holding you back. Look at that moon and Capricorn energy. What discipline is needed to move past any blocks? That'll move you forward. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful week. This is the first Decan reading for the month of Cancer. Again, June 22nd to July 1st. I will be back either July 2nd or 3rd, depending on the schedule, to do the next Decan, where we go into the suit of the 2 of Cups. Any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I've been producing quite a few videos in the last 24 hours, so my voice is starting to get a little rough. And I'm sorry I hiccuped a few times when it comes to explaining these cards. A lot of information I've been pulling out in the last 2 days, from writing to videos. So this may not be the best, but hey, I love what I'm doing, and I want to share this information with you. So any questions, again, feel free to leave them in the comments. I look forward to connecting with you again. And you can reach me via my website, Instagram, email, any of that. I will be back to do my live readings this week. And I think that's it. Have a wonderful week, everyone. And I'll be in touch again soon.